Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depending on the part of the world you are watching us from, welcome to another edition of the uh, Genetic Advocacy Debate organized by PAPERI. My name is Usman Dabida Mohammed. I'm a pharmacist with Niger State Hospital Management Board. My current station is General Hospital Kagara, and I'm the chief pharmacist in charge. Our topic for today is: should drug regulatory agency require pharmacogenomic testing before approving drug for public use, or should this remain optional? We are in the negative team that believe pharmacogenomic testing should remain optional in drug approval processes. And my teammate for today and my colleague is Ahmad Abdullahi, is from Yemen. He will join us later. Introduction: pharmacogenomic testing is all about how people respond to drug differently, uh, with the goal of optimizing drug efficacy and minimizing adverse effects. As the field of personalized medicine advances, regulatory agencies worldwide are increasingly including pharmacogenomic information in drug label. However, the question remains whether such testing should be mandatory or optional during drug approval. Um, Opening statement: uh, just imagine the word all drugs are produced tailored into your towards your DNA, no side effect, no try by error. It sounds like science fiction, right? So pharmacogenomic setting should remain optional during the drug approval processes. Mandating such tests for all drugs is not always supported by sufficient evidence, especially outside of oncology. More than 70% of the drugs does not have the pharmacogenomic label yet. Most of the ones that have about 29% are mostly oncology drugs and may not be cost effective or universally applicable. Optional testing allow for flexibility, accommodate difference in population and drug classes. I mean, like antibiotics that don't require pharmacogenomic testing, and support the responsible integration of pharmacogenomic in as evidence increase. Our arguments for the variability in clinical evidence and actionability. This inclusion of pharmacogenetic information in drugs label does not always equate to the requirement for genetic testing outside oncology. For now, there are more evidence in only oncology, and most drug biomarker peer do not require recommended testing, as the clinical utility actionability of such information are often limited or unproven. For example, only 29% of drug biomarker appear on FDA approval labels, such a requirement or recommendation for testing, with the majority of actionable requirements concentrating only in cancer therapy. Non-oncology areas, there are not much evidence for now, and it take 10 years for drug to be approved. And I think that that time, this that we believe if pharmacogenomic testing is added, it may elongate the time drug will be approved. And also, we are talking of the 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 insufficient evidence available for all that. And by the time evidence are available, I think it can be integrated. But for now, we cannot just throw away evidence for just bureaucracy. There should be more scientific evidence than bureaucracy in the policies. International regulatory differences. Uh, there are many drug regulatory agencies are available all over the world. The US, Europe, Korea, and Japan have their own differences. And I don't think any regulatory agencies is just ready for just a blanket rule. Uh, the most important thing is there is to allow flexibility in all the regulatory agency instead of allowing a very rigid rule which is going to affect the breakthrough for most of the drug, and researchers and developers of new drugs will find it very difficult. Cost concern. I mean, there's a lot of cost concern. How cost effective is pharmacogenomics? We all know that pharmacogenomics is resource intensive and may not always be justifiable. By the time the cost of pharmacogenomics is now added to the cost of the research and others from the beginning of the drug to the approval at time, I would believe that the cost of the drug will be double. Just imagining if cost of cancer drug presently is double, who is now going to bear the consequences? The patient will have to take bulk of the cost, especially when the clinical benefit is unclear. The use of pharmacogenomic tools is essential to assess the cost effectiveness, and there should be more pharmacoeconomic analysis towards this so that we now know whether if they are cost effective or not. But for now, the belief there and the research out there know that by the time pharmacogenomic is integrated into clinical practice, as more robust evidence emerge, recommendation can be adapted and reflect new knowledge, ensuring that testing requirements are based on sound science evidence. Refuters, our colleagues and the affirmative students said long time it reduced long time health costs. Well, while pharmacodynamics hold promise for improving drugs safety and efficacy, significant barrier remain to its widespread cost-effective implementation. I mean, if there is a long time cost in healthcare, where are the evidence? Where are the pharmacoeconomics research and analysis that says that this is the cost is cheaper by doing adding pharmacogenomic to the processes? So there should be the lack of routine cost evaluation, operational challenges, and incomplete coverage of data by current genetic tests limit the ability of the pharmacogenomics to consistently reduce long-term healthcare at the scale. Broader adoption will require more robust evidence, standardized procedure, and systemic changes in healthcare delivery. Refutal number two: improve drug efficacy and personalization. Well, precision medicine demand precision testing is without knowing that precision is not all about force. It's all about the right tool for the right drug. Pharmacoeconomics hold promise for improving drug efficacy and personalization. In current impact is limited to only some selected drugs, most especially the cancer therapy. The challenge of variable drug response is multifactorial. All of us know there are other factors that are responsible to how people respond to drug, and genetic profiling alone cannot fully resolve it. Broader clinical benefit will require further research, functional validation, and integration with other patient-specific factors. Reputer number three: enhance safety and reduce ADR. ADR is not all about pharmacogenomics. Not only gene cannot determine how people react to drugs. There are other factors that require, like there are factors like environmental, drug interaction, disease condition, also, and also administration of drugs. So, these are other factors that are barriers. The need for further evidence and standardization, comprehensive strategy that combine pharmacogenomic with other risk reduction, such as adherence to prescribing guidelines, regular medication review, and patient monitoring are necessary for meaningfully enhancing drug safety. The last repeater for the day: strengthen public trust in health in new drugs. Well, pharmacogenomic offer valuable tool for personalizing drugs the therapy, but it alone cannot fully overcome public statements towards new drugs. There are other factors that cause the trust issue between the general public and the pharmaceutical companies. Past misconduct, we're talking of profit driven motive and transparency in most of the research they hold. We all know that some companies they can do a research with plenty of bias and then just look for what they call pseudo author to publish those researches, those are kind of things. And then some researchers also coerce people to be involved in some researches. So just by adding pharmacogenomic testing does not only does will not increase the public trust in new drugs. I think we all know what happened during COVID, and all those things have to do with trust issues. Um, Additionally, challenges like access to genetic testing, lack of clinical training, and uneven healthcare implementation hinder widespread adoption. Regulatory inclusion of pharmacogenomic information is a positive step but does not guarantee understanding or acceptance. Moreover, the evidence supporting pharmacogenomic impact on real-world outcome and trust remain limited. Ultimately, building public confidence require comprehensive reform beyond genetic personalization, including enhancing transparency, education, and regulation. Our closing statement: pharmacogenomic testing should remain optional during drug approval processes to allow for flexibility, accommodate differences in clinical evidence, population genetics, ensure cost-effective use of healthcare resources. As the science mature and more actionable evidence become available, testing recommendation can be refined. This approach supports the responsible integration of pharmacogenomics into clinical practice while safeguarding the patient access and innovation in drug development. Thank you. I think we have come to the end of our chat. So for further this thing, pharmacogenomic is the future, but the future is not saved by just rushing into making laws. They should be kept optional so that we don't lose to test patients for ideas of tomorrow. Thank you very much. I will be waiting for question and answers.